Are you feeling lost, lacking direction in life, bored, hating your job? These are all common symptoms of lacking purpose and meaning. In this video, I will help you understand why and what you can do about it. Humans are social animals, and because we are so social in nature, it's a fundamental human need to contribute to the group or groups we live in. We are simply not wired to be purely self-interested creatures that only care about ourselves. We often belong to several groups, such as our family, our community, our country, or even humanity as a whole. We can contribute to several of these groups, or just focus on one of them. For example, we could contribute to society and our family, or maybe if we don't have a family, we're focusing on just contributing to our country. That contribution can look different from person to person. For example, for one person, just working and paying taxes rather than relying on government support is their way of contributing. For someone else, it could be creating a new service or helping in a social justice cause. Or it could be looking after a person in need. There are so many different ways. The need to contribute to the groups we belong to is why people who don't have a job can feel lost. But equally, those with great wealth who are not doing anything can also feel lost, despite being very rich. For many of us, our contribution comes in the form of work, but I want to emphasize that it doesn't have to. It could be volunteering, helping those that live around us, or even just looking after a family member in need, such as children or elderly parents. When you're trying to find your purpose through work, the hard thing is to know what it is, given that we're all different and we're good at different things. For one person, their purpose might be being a baker. For someone else, it's being a musician. Some people are better wired to work for others, whereas some people operate best doing their own thing. To make things even harder, we are constantly changing as we go through life, and so purpose can change over time. For people who are working and yet not feeling a sense of purpose and meaning, it may be that they are in the wrong job or occupation. So why doesn't everyone find their purpose? Many people are raised by their parents to get a good, stable job rather than encouraged to find their purpose. It's harder to follow your calling if you weren't encouraged to do so. For those people, it also then becomes harder later on because they're already invested so much into their career through study and those first few years of work. For other people, the barrier could be more around money and perhaps the prestige they have in their current job, which makes it harder to change. If someone is earning a lot of money, they create a lifestyle around that, and we become a bit addicted to a lifestyle, which makes it harder to change. So how do you get meaning and purpose in life? If you're interested in finding meaning and purpose through your work life, look at what you're good at. What do you do better than others? Where do you excel? What do you have that can help others, which other people don't? Our natural skill set is often a part of what guides us towards our purpose. If you're unsure what you're good at, you can also look at what you enjoy. When you love doing something, you tend to become better at it over time. Once you have some idea of what you're good at or what you enjoy, ask yourself how you can best use this skill to help others or make the lives of other people better. You can also look at problems in the world or around you that need fixing. If you encountered a law in your country that's unfair, you could campaign to change it. If you once reached out for help but felt let down by those that were supposed to help you, you could train yourself to deliver that service but better. Even if you've just simply come across or seen people that have suffered a certain way, you could find a way to help them or help prevent the circumstances that led them to be in that situation. This could be poverty, homelessness, mental health, violence, abuse, isolation, animal welfare, climate change, just to name a few. The list is endless. Have you ever read about the cases where a parent has lost a child and they then fight for changes to the laws that led them to lose that child, or the ones that enabled the perpetrator to escape justice? This person is using their experience to create meaning and purpose in their life. This is just one example, but it's to illustrate the point I'm making. You can incorporate this desire to fix a problem through your work, or you can do it outside of your job. Remember too that you can help any or several groups that you belong to. For some people, being a good father or mother is their way of making the world a better place. They're raising a good citizen. For some, it's joining the military to defend their country, and for others, it's both. If you'd like to learn more about this concept, there's a great book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He's the person most associated with this idea and created a therapy based on it called logotherapy. The main point I want to make is that rather than solely focus on your own self and your internal world, focus on how you can be helpful to others, and this will bring meaning and purpose in your life.